The Oilers win. Game 4, they're up 3-1 in the series. They win Game 4 by a score of 4-1 with 2 empty netters. We're going to talk about how that happened here on Mac on the Mic Sports, so make sure you subscribe if you like this mug talking about hockey. Before the game even started, let's go Oilers, this is deafening. Let's go Oilers, they're getting hearing loss. It was insanely loud. It was unbelievably loud. This building is primed for a Stanley Cup berth. The action starts quick, a little bit of back and forth, a little bit of feeling each other out. Corey Perry doesn't see Michael Granlund coming, and he gets billowed over. I'm worried. Is Corey Perry going to be okay? Of course he's okay. His name's Corey Perry. He's 40 years old, and he is healthier than me, and I am not even 30 yet. He literally is the epitome of what an athlete should strive for, to be competing at this high of a level at his age. I know it seems weird to say that 40 is old, but for a hockey player, he's old. He's grizzled as grizzled can get, but he looks like a spry chicken, getting up from that Granlund collision, no problem. Victor Arvidsson getting his first game action in a while, and he is throwing the body. He is trying to make his presence felt. He actually had a really good game along with Janmark. I thought those two played incredible. The bottom six, yet again, a broken record in oil country, but the bottom six played fantastic. Then there's a delayed hooking penalty against the Oilers. I actually think it may have been a hold. And it looks like the Oilers touch the puck in front of their net. It looks like they get that touch up. They don't get the call. It ends up being like another 30 or so seconds of 6-on-5, way extended. The crowd's already booing against the refs. It was probably a penalty, but I definitely think the Oilers got what they call in the NHL as possession when it comes to delayed penalties, but they didn't get the break, but that's fine. The Oilers, another chance to prove that their penalty kill is nothing like it was in Game 1. Just erase that. They've been great since then, and another opportunity to kill a big penalty. Then shorthanded, Nurse and Kapanen up the ice. They're pushing for offense, bobbles the puck, almost a huge break for the Dallas Stars, but they cannot still turn anything on that quick-fire offense with the power play, and the Oilers end up killing off the first power play. 0-for-1 are the Dallas Stars. But Dallas uses that momentum off the power play. They keep pushing. Stewie has to make his first of a few really nice saves. Puck going back the other way. Ottinger making a couple of his moves. Looks like we're going to settle into an actual hockey game. Early power plays always kind of throw things through a loop. And then at this stage of the game, it really did look like, okay, we're just going to have a really tight checking, low scoring game. Very similar to what the Dallas Stars wanted in Game 3 and didn't get. And really similar to how you're going to have to win games late in series here in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Both teams keeping the opposition to the perimeter. It was really tight there for a good chunk of the first period. Partway through the first, McDavid, a great rush chance with Kane, just puts it wide. There was a weird trip a little bit after that. Fans are just, they're on the refs hard already. They're screaming for a power play. They know that they need to even this up. The fans are angry. They're already on the refs. It was around this time that Evan Bouchard kind of slaps Rupe Hintz on the top of the skate, right in that spot that he knows is a little bit hurt. You hate to love to see it, I guess. Is it sportsmanlike? No. Is it what you want your guy to do in the playoffs? A little bit, I guess. I don't know. It doesn't make me feel great that I'm happy he did that. But it wasn't malicious. It was more of an annoyance, as they said in the intermission talk. So at the end of the day, I'm not going to poo-poo Bouchard for tapping the guy on his injured spot. And like Elliot Friedman said, this is why the coaches say the lower body undisclosed, upper body undisclosed. Somewhere in his body is hurt because they know that players are going to target it. And the Oilers didn't do too much of it throughout the game because honestly, it was kind of a non-factor. And then things kind of open up. A little bit after partway through the first, a little bit of pond hockey. It's back and forth. There's a 2-on-1 turned 3-on-2. A lot of shots for Dallas in the first period, missing the net, and the ones that weren't, Stewie was there to save. And then the Oilers putting the puck on the net. Ottinger didn't have to make too many high-class saves at this stage of the season, so to speak, but still both goalies settling in, making the saves they need to. Then the Oilers will get their first power play. It was a trip by Jamie Benn. Initially, I thought it was like a pretty dirty little slew foot, but it was just kind of, just a classic trip. It just happened up against the boards, so it looked a little dangerous, but Klingberg was fine. Jamie Benn goes off for 2 minutes. In fact, actually not 2 minutes, because the Edmonton Oilers score the first goal of this hockey game for the 4th time this series. Every game the Edmonton Oilers have scored first. That used to not be a recipe for success, as they were the comeback kings earlier in the playoffs, but this team is learning how to play and shut down a lead, and they're up 1-0. And this Oiler power play was buzzing. Nugent Hopkins has I just love him. I'm gonna buy a Nuge jersey. I really, really want to. The one playoff game I went to was the game where Mike Smith let in the goal from like a million feet against Calgary, and that was the game that Nuge scored a huge goal at the end of the third to give us the win. So Nuge, I mean, 2011 he was drafted. That was right around the time I started to really, really, really get into hockey. So he's like my guy. Nuge is like my guy. And it was so good to see him just elevate his game to a level. Pitter, patter, Draisaitl, a shot we have not seen from him much this whole postseason because everyone knows that it's coming, but very similar to that little rush chance goal that McDavid had for his first of the game in Game 3. Very similar, except this was the power play, pit, pat. It looked like there was no room. Ottinger looked like he got there. I was still watching the replay in slow motion. It's hard to know how Draisaitl is this good at putting the puck right inside the post. So many players are great at it. I've no player does it as consistently as this guy, next to maybe Alexander Ovechkin. It's nuts. And the tone is kind of set here. That first shift after the goal, you think, is Dallas going to push? Dallas pushed, and the Oilers were better. Dallas pushed, and the Oilers were stopping them up in the neutral zone. They were getting them to do one and done with the forechecks. It was a thing of beauty. It's at this stage, some weird play happens with Zach Hyman seemingly shattering his wrist by a nothing collision. It's truly the most upsetting news you can get next to like Connor or Leon going down. He has been an absolute driving force for the squad, and it does not look good. It does not look good for Zach Hyman. I mean, Zach Hyman's a tough cookie, okay? When he gets hurt, he's not going to fall down on the ice and start rolling around and looking to the ref for a call. I'm not talking about anybody in particular, but he's not going to do that. That's just not his character. I don't blame the guys who do that. Honestly, when it's a different injury, maybe you do that. I don't know. But Zach Hyman immediately skates to the bench and goes down, and you could just tell the way he's holding his arm. Like I said, shattered wrist. Who knows what it is? But Kelly Rudy said it looks severe, just knowing the type of player he is. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look good for Zach Hyman, and I think he was about to break the record for most hits in a playoff of all time. From what I saw, not even from the collision looked like nothing, but from what I saw from his reaction, my initial gut check is he's not going to play another game in the playoffs. And that sucks. But we'll see. News still to follow. And then in the end of the first, Dallas does probably their best real good push of the game, other than the pond hockey back and forth. They're getting some offensive zone time, but the Oilers still not giving up that grade A chance. They are so hard on that puck carrier that it is a thing of beauty. The moment they get into a dangerous spot, there's a body on them. There's a stick in the way. There's a loose puck. And then once there's a loose puck, the Oilers are pouncing on it and at the very least getting it down the ice. The Oilers did have a couple more rush chances at the end of the first, but it was really all Dallas taking us into the first intermission. And the first period stats were all Dallas. Dallas had the more shots. And you take that over to the second period as well. Dallas was the better team in a lot of those analytical senses, but the Oilers had the better goalie. It takes a full team to win, and the Oilers now have a full team firing on all cylinders. When the other team is pushing, you need your goalie to make big saves. You need your defense to limit the amount of big saves that your goalie needs to make, and the Oilers were doing all of this. They were checking literally every single box that you would want your team to check, and don't get me wrong, like Dallas was pushing. That second period, Dallas played terrific. It was similar to the vibe when I watched the replays and I watched the highlights of Game 3, where it's like Dallas is giving you all that they can have. They're giving it to you. And the Oilers are like, no, that's fine. I'll take it. I'll take it off the chin, and I'm not going to go down. You might score a goal. Eventually, Dallas does score a goal on the power play. In the second period, Oilers, no fluff whatsoever. Oh, at the end of that first period, though, there was this, I didn't even see the replay in totality. They never showed it. There was a fluff up behind the net, and the ref decides that just Podkolzin's going for roughing. I'm sure he did something to warrant it, but it did not look, I mean, I don't know. It was a scrum after the play, and they took just one to give the Dallas Stars a power play. That's tough to see in the playoffs. The Oilers start the second period on the penalty kill, but they do great things. And they keep shutting down Dallas. They're doing pretty much the best that you can possibly do. On the first two power plays for Dallas were abysmal. And the Oilers even got a couple shorthanded chances. McDavid is now just killing penalties, like for 50 seconds of the penalty, he's going to be out there. It creates a whole other dynamic when you have the puck on the blue line and you think, not only if I bobble this, do we not have a chance to score a goal, but the fastest skater in the NHL is just going to blow by me if he gets a lick of possession. And then just as the second period starts to kind of settle into like that tight checking, low event hockey, as the second period kind of settles into this low event hockey, Corey Perry gets called for a pick. I heard in his post game, he said, I was trying to go to the bench and they called me for a pick. Well done, Corey. Way to keep the lie alive, because that was just a pick. It was a great pick. It was a sneaky pick, but it was a pick. The referees caught it. Oilers now back on the penalty kill. This is now power play 3 for the Dallas Stars, only 1 for the Oilers. And the Dallas gave them everything they had. It looked like the Oilers were going to make... Stuart Skinner made a save while he was just down and the puck just hit him because he was flying over the net trying to make other saves. It was crazy bobbling. I thought, oh my gosh, the Oilers are going to kill off this penalty. And then literally they said it in the telecast like Harlem Globetrotter passing. It looked like the Edmonton Oilers power play in the regular season against the Phoenix Coyotes. And I'm not, Phoenix Coyotes. Yeah, we're going back. And I'm not trying to say that the Oilers did a poor job of defending. The Dallas Stars just found the seams. There was not a lot there, and they pitter-patter. Great finish by Robertson. Stewie had to go from his left to his right, back to his left, and then Robertson cut across, a little bit of a screen, top corner over the blocker. Nothing Stewie can do. That's a power play goal. You give up 3 penalties, you might give up a goal. There you go. That's what happens. Tie game at 1. But then not that long after, a handful of minutes, a very similar pick is called against Dallas. So the Oilers are going to get their second chance on the power play. And it's Nugent Hopkins again with just the toe drag. You think, oh, after you pull off a toe drag like that, you're going bar down skis, aren't you, bud? No. Nugent Hopkins is a 15-year veteran. He's been in the league a long time. And he's now played in some really, really big games for the Edmonton Oilers. I feel like a rookie, a younger player, gets really excited about that toe drag and just takes a shot. And maybe they score, maybe they don't. But he saw just a Corey Perry just wide paddle and agape, super excited to just get a cookie on this pass shot right into the back of the net. It was all Nugent Hopkins. All Corey Perry had to do was be there in the Zach Hyman spot. And as I think about the Zach Hyman spot, I shed a little bit of a tear, because I just realized that Zach Hyman is still not back in this hockey game, and he's not going to be back for the rest of this hockey game and maybe more. And that's okay. That's not okay. It's not okay. That makes Nugent Hopkins, that's up to 9 points now in the first 4 games of this Western Conference final. Unbelievable. The Nuge is beyond huge. The Nuge is humongous. Dallas now with a pushback. Janmark hooking somebody, I can't remember who, on a great scoring chance. Oilers back on the penalty kill. It's definitely a penalty that you want to take, I think. It was a great scoring chance. Oilers need to kill off another one. And the penalty kill comes up clutch again. Stuart Skinner made a couple more saves on this one. The Oilers keeping it to the perimeter. Connor McDavid, after the kill, or maybe it was during the kill, kind of boards Granlund face first into the boards. It looked tough, but Granlund got up. It wasn't that hard of a hit, but it was something that kind of got our attention. McDavid's here to throw the body as well. And then Dallas has another amazing push towards the end of the second. They're trying to find that equalizer. The Oilers sound like a broken record. They weather the storm. And then the Oilers get over a minute of offensive zone time right at the end of the second. And it is ended by a bad shot off of a stick wide. It was like no pressure shot after they were just buzzing in the offensive zone. But either way, they milk some more time off the clock. Oilers lead 2-1 headed into the second intermission. And then the third period. The Edmonton Oilers play the best period of hockey I may have ever seen them play. The Dallas Stars had like one shot in the first 10 minutes. Edmonton just gave them nothing. Absolutely nothing. But it's still a 1-goal game. You never know what can happen. The time just keeps dwindling down. The Oilers get a power play with 5 minutes left. You think, are they going to ice it? They try real hard. They have a great first minute. They end up calling a timeout. Does Chris Knobloch. The timeout's called. Everyone takes a deep breath. Okay, let's get the ball rolling again. Power play kind of falls apart. And then you're thinking, okay, this is going to be Dallas. This is going to be where they give us their very, very best. And Stewie's going to have to make some unbelievable saves, and we're going to have to just hang in there and win a game 2-1. But that is not what happened. Dallas fluttered into nothing. And then they pulled their goalie, and we immediately won a defensive zone faceoff, flip over to Kapanen, who just skates into the empty net. It kind of reminded me of what happened. So Kapanen just skates into the empty net. Sure, he didn't have anyone to pass to, but I remember in the game yesterday of the Eastern Conference Final, Carolina, 1-goal lead, empty netter. It's like a 2-on-0, and the guy passes it. I'm like, what on earth are you doing? Do not pass when you have the game on the line, and Kapanen, as safe as could be, right into the back of the net. Oilers end up adding another empty netter by Adam Henrique. Long distance shot. When you have the angle, just take it. And just like that, the Edmonton Oilers make their handiwork of the Dallas Stars, winning what I'm going to call a classic Edmonton Oiler hockey game. They have done this so many times now in the playoffs that this is a classic Edmonton Oiler hockey game. Well, I guess not classic, but it's a type of game that they feel comfortable winning. All of the goals that mattered were scored on the power play, so it kind of was a specialty teams win for the Edmonton Oilers. They killed off more power plays, and they scored more power play goals than the Dallas Stars. That ended up being the difference, and the Oilers win 4-1 to take a 3-1 series lead to try and turn that into a 4-1 series win back in Dallas on Thursday night. I'm very excited for that hockey game, although I will not be able to watch it because I will be doing in-ring announcing as a guest for a local wrestling promotion. A local wrestling promotion is going to have me do the first up in the fighting in the day. That's not how I'm going to do it, but that's what I'm going to be doing. So it's a bummer I can't watch the game, but make sure you stay tuned to the channel. Stay tuned to the channel. Just keep on clicking them buttons to see more of the fun stuff that I'm doing here on Mac on the Mic Sports. We will see you in the next one. Oilers win. Next time I talk to you about the Oilers, they might be on their way to the Stanley Cup final and 4 wins away from the Stanley Cup. The wins now feel different, honestly. Like the first round, because I thought we were out of it, every win was so important. And the second round, every win, I just thought, if they can get past Vegas, I really like their chances. And then once they started playing Dallas, honestly, I didn't care about a Game 2 win. I didn't really care about the Game 3. And even this win, now I'm like, okay, because now I can really taste the Stanley Cup final. But I am Stanley Cup or bust with this team. Let me know if you are as well. And we'll see you later. Adios.